What do you think is the best way for the United States to pursue or to persuade Iran to back away from a nuclear program?
Solving the Israeli-Palestinian problem.
That's it.
That allows us to then solve the Israeli-Arab-Muslim problem. There's 57 nations in the world, a third of the United Nations that don't recognize Israel today. So what we're doing is saying 57 nations, Iran has signed this document, believe it or not, that is saying, look, Israel, if you solve the Palestinian problem, if you allow us to solve the problems of Jerusalem, we all want to have peace with you.
Do you think Iran fears an attack from Israel? Fears an attack from the United States?
I think all of us consider that no, I think not from the United States, but the rogue question would be what Israel would do. And therefore, I think it's an imperative over the next month or two to start negotiations, because I think any military strike against Iran would be extremely counterproductive, and I don't see the outcome of that. Okay, you hit Iran, what happens then? And it's the not knowing that, I think, creates a lot of fears with all of us around the world.
Let me turn to the very important issue of Israelis and Palestinians in the Middle East. Your father, King Hussein, was on this program 40 years ago talking about his concern that time was slipping away to solve this issue. This is what he said.
The ability of all to move towards peace are being impaired if conditions remain the way they are. I believe there is very, very grave danger of an explosion in the area, or at least the loss of this chance, which we feel is the first and maybe the last one, of establishing a just and thus durable peace in the area.
40 years later, you are preparing your own memoir, and the working title at this point is The Last Best Chance. A similar message to your father 40 years ago. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I'm trying to do with this book is to explain that dynamics have changed in the Middle East, and really this is our last best chance. What my late father was saying is that then there was a major opportunity slipping past, and I think 40 years later, how many wars, how much death and destruction, how many Israelis, Arabs and Muslims have lost their lives? Are we prepared to go another decade? And believe you me, if we do not solve the problem today of the Israelis and Palestinians, it's only going to be a matter of time of another conflict. And I had come here to the United States to predict the war in Lebanon several months before. I came to predict that Gaza was going to happen, although it took me by surprise by being 2 months earlier. I thought it was going to happen by the time Obama came into office. And in the next 18 months, if we don't move the process forward and bring people to the negotiation table, there will be another conflict between Israel and another protagonist. And how many people have to continue to lose their lives? And so the message of the book is basically say this is our last chance, because geographically the future of a Palestinian state is under fire. And we're now arriving at the crossroads that if we do not have a negotiated settlement between Israelis and Palestinians, then there may never be a chance. So Israel has to decide, does it want to make a relationship with 57 nations, or does it want to stay Fortress Israel, and how does that hurt all of us?
Was your message to President Obama, we need a complete paradigm shift here, it is time for the United States to impose a solution, time for the United States to start making some demands? Is that your view?
The only way that we're going to be able to solve this problem, if it's left to the players, the Israelis and Palestinians by themselves, we're not going to get anywhere. It can only happen if there is an American umbrella with a determined American president that is going to get the Israelis and Palestinians to sit on the table, because both sides historically have always come an excuse why not to go the last mile. And I believe that Obama understands how much this resonates. For the first time, I think Americans can clearly say that a two-state solution is in the vital national interest of the United States.